short-term news cycle has been pushing the price higher. Speakers at the Bitcoin conference gave enormous signals showing that they are all bullish and going up to this idea that they're going to actually buy into 550 Bitcoin a day. So the thought process is kind of clear. They all want you to buy. If they all want you to buy, then who the hell is selling? So you need to think between the lines. You need to be able to look for what they are trying to do. Yes, it is sure that you are inside this pattern. XRP clearly argues the point that you had a fake out. That is great. But on the micro scenario, if you go levered, that can hurt you. Yes, there is a time where you go levered. There is a time where you ride this to the upside. But when will that signal come in so that you can join the party? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, if you do look at the price action, the thought process of the divergence, which is bullish, is still valid on a Bitcoin daily chart. So that idea is clear, and the price went from 55,000 all the way up to 68,000. So that kind of a $13,000, $14,000 rally is not bad. But what we do have to keep in mind is if you are not breaking this to the upside, you should see a corrective movement. Yes, the RSI already broke to the upside from the trendline resistance, which formed from March 2024. And if you do look at XRP, we're trying to break through that, but as of now, we did not. Which means at this resistance, there is more sellers than buyers. Now, how would you attract more buyers? You give them a little bit lower price. So those who missed out at 0.5 or below would consider that as a good price to buy in, and then they will buy. This is the normal process. So yes, a retest of this particular breakout, which always has to go back, right? So the break higher here shows you a retest of that zone would be optimal. Yes, in between, you do have supports like 0.53, then 0.48. So you do have to look for the retracements. When people go ultra bullish, at least when the market delivers news which is extremely bullish, and that's coming from all directions. Now we'll have to think, okay, what should we really see to say that this asset is going ultra bullish? So if that's the case, we would be looking at Bitcoin and saying like, okay, this is the resistance. We would like to see that break. As of now, we didn't do that. You come on to XRP on a short-term chart, and most likely what you're going to see is a ABC structure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that this microstructure shows us the 1, 2, 3 to the upside, and now it's playing out its ABC structure to the downside, which is completely fine because that's how a new big run up starts. So your micro wave one is kind of this. You zoom in, you kind of get the idea. That's around 60% move. Great. Perfect. Now, what you're going to look from there is that if it retraces back to 0.5, you're looking for what? 3 to 5 times of wave one. So you project that to the upside. So if it is 3 times, then you're talking about the price reaching 180% to the upside. So that means XRP can clearly go up to 1.3, 1.4 as the next run up starts. And that's just a part of it. So you are watching the 1, the 2, and the 3 of that microstructure. Remember, this is still the microstructure. This one is the red one, which we plotted before, is the nanostructure. I know this gets confusing, but if you do look at the Elliott waves and try to understand how that system works, now you know there is a nanostructure, a microstructure, a macrostructure. It is a bit confusing, but if you try to stand with me, you know what we're talking about, right? So this is the microstructure. There's a 4-hour chart. So if you take that chart, zoom a little bit out to 12-hour, you now have an idea. Okay, this is what we are looking at. If you go on to a daily chart, now we know, yeah, that is a microstructure. But to get that idea, you'll have to plot that on a log scale chart where the institutions rely on. So right now, if you see this is the next possible leg, then ask yourself the question, okay, if that's the case, can this be the actual macro wave 1? Most likely no. Why? Because if you are looking at this micro as wave 1 and this as wave 2 and this as wave 3 here, then again, the 1, 2, 3 should finish with an ABC. You'd come lower, and that can be up to this point, 0.8, 0.9. From that region, yeah, you can plot the next 3 wave structure, arguing the point that the price action doing a 4x is the wave 1. If that's true, you're talking about 3 to 5 times. 3 times takes you somewhere close to $10, and 5 times, which is 20x, actually takes you all the way up to $18. Now, most of us kind of have an average target, which is somewhere around 15, 16 range. So this is in line with what we have talked about through years. So now the price action is slowly starting to give you more and more idea that the price is going to work around in that particular region. But what's the trouble here? The microstructure. That is the trouble here. Because people do not look at this. They listen to the macro bullishness, and some kind of, instead of using the ABC structure to the downside, they go in levered at the current price. So what do I mean by using that for your advantage? If you're looking at the A, the B, the C, no, that's the 1, 2, 3, the 3-wave impulse. ABC corrective structure comes in here. So we'll put that into a different color. This is what I'm talking about. This is where you go bullish. You try to use that to your advantage. Now, yes, you can use different tools, but some of them may not be reliable on all the time horizons. On a micro, this is really good. If you get an idea, that's okay. So you pick it from the top and pull it to the bottom, and now you want to look at where it actually went last time. Just above the top. Just above the top. Okay, we came close to what we were measuring. So you kind of get an idea that this is possible. So that's XRP on multiple time horizons, daily, 4-hour, 3-day. You kind of get the idea. Now, for that to play out, you need to see the Bitcoin and the Bitcoin dominance playing out. So you go back into the Bitcoin dominance part of things, and that shows you something. We discussed about a fake out coming in. We wanted to see a fake out where the price action shows you I'm breaking higher. Clear? So you kind of got first 3-day candle close showing you I broke higher. The wick high is 57.04. Now you go back on the weekly, you want to actually say, okay, the weekly is showing you are in a new territory after 2021 March. That shows you the dominance is through the sky. And historically speaking, what does that mean? The dominance is about to drop, and as soon as it starts that drop, that's where the altcoin market rallies. So now that you have a base idea of what's happening on that micro and short-term scenario for Bitcoin dominance, you can actually plot this correctly. Now, you'll have to plot this correctly depending on the level of accuracy you'll see this. So right now, when you do plot that correctly, zooming in, picking up all these tops correctly, and then looking through, is that valid? It held last time in 2021. So I would argue if that's valid all the way from 2016-17 till this point of time, yeah, look for a fake out, that's okay. And most likely that will be when the alt market would start to ride higher. So we are watching this as a trend line, which is kind of giving us an idea or a sense of urgency into the altcoin market. Because if you do connect this correctly from the bottom till that top, you kind of get to see, okay, this was that structure where we were kind of flying around. So if you do look at that kind of a structure, now you're saying, okay, the wick higher should go as high as 60. Now it's just 56. Now, if you do follow this up, you get something else in the thought process. For this entire rally mode here, we've watched something. Whenever the Bitcoin dominance rose to the new local high, Bitcoin in itself went up. That means the odds of Bitcoin going further high, it's still relevant. Just a micro drop can actually do this for us. It can be the microwave 1, wave 2, and the wave 3, as you can see on a 3-day Bitcoin chart. And you also will get a confirmed breakout with that. So the total altcoin market should actually show you it would like to participate in this run up. Just more money would be flowing into Bitcoin. And it does make sense with all of these talks about Bitcoin from Russia, from US. They're adding it to the reserves. They're going to buy it like crazy. All of that is going to attract new liquidity into Bitcoin, which kind of then give us an idea. Yeah, this is what's happening. We're watching something like this playing out. And a breakout is mandatory, because if you don't, now what you will look for is a double bottom scenario, which would then look like, a creek structure, a Wyckoff creek kind of thing. And from there, you break higher and move up. If that's the case, now you're watching a reaccumulation clearly, and that's very much positive for the altcoin market in general. So XRP, you saw what's happening, and you now have an understanding of what's going to happen. In the altcoin market, if you're looking at this and saying, okay, we are close to $2.5 trillion, and there are a few assets showing you promising signals, and if you want a breakdown of all of those, participate in the Scientific Investor family, where you get to see hundreds of assets every single week. So guys, if you want to participate in that, use the link in the description below. If you received value, smash that like button for me. I'm happy to see 337 individuals hit that like button, which has been the highest in last 1 week. So for each and every one of you who did obliterate that like button, thank you. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.